As someone who's been playing Pokemon for a very long time, I always end up wondering what new games will be like. Since Scarlet and Violet are on the horizon, I decided to talk about my personal hopes for the game and how likely they are to happen. So first off, I hope the map is as big as it seems. Expansive maps have always been a big part of open world games, and if Scarlet and Violet are as open world as they seem, this must be true. I think this one is more likely because Game Freak has been hard at work trying to deliver a special game, and I hope they get it right. Especially with all the different biomes, I feel like there's a really big possibility that the map is huge. Comparing it to Galar's map, you can really see which one looks bigger. I feel like with all the potential this game has, there's a chance that Game Freak messes it up, but I think it's unlikely, knock on wood. Another map-related thing. I hope Pokemon like Wiglet and Poopa Wooper aren't locked behind the late game areas like Alolan Vulpix was. New Pokemon should be accessible, especially the popular ones. But there's one exception. Some Pokemon, at least the Paradox forms, they should be locked behind the post game, or at least late game. You shouldn't be able to get one of the strongest new Pokemon just right off the bat. Secondly, I'm seriously hoping that we get some good storytelling with a good and impactful ending. Usually you know what happens at a Pokemon game. Let's take X and Y for example. We all knew that Lysander was evil as soon as we met him. We knew that we were going to beat him, but what if he won? What if his weapon actually worked and destroyed the Lumiose, or did some kind of impact other than just Geosenge, because Geosenge had no practical purpose. This is more of a personal hope, not a feature I think the game needs to have, but imagine a good story where Nemona does something. I really hope something permanent happens. Usually if someone dies, they can just come back with no consequences. And I think this game would be a lot more popular with a good and interesting story. A good postgame is crucial, especially after the disaster Sword and Shield left behind. I've heard people bash Alola's postgame, but at least you can do something. What can you do in Sword and Shield? Battle Tower? And that's really it. At least in the Battle Tree you could fight Cynthia, Wally, and other, famous Pokemon trainers like Blue and Red. But in the Battle Towers, only Leon. Why? I think this is a big oversight. Imagine a postgame where you travel to Kalos and Lysander is watching the weapon again, since it's not in the Mega timeline. Then all the other champions come from other games to help you defeat him, and all the other team leaders fight the champions. I might sound biased because I love Kalos, but it's also directly beside Paldea. Paldea is based off of Spain, which is right next to France, and that's where X and Y took place. So please just make the post-game good. Even just a difficult post-game would be fine. Honestly, BDSP's post-game wasn't too bad. There was Ramanos Island and the Grand Underground, which is something to do, but it still could be better. Now, at the time I started this script, I had this as a hope, but since it got confirmed, I'll go over it briefly. Please make Paradox forms. I think it would be so cool to have Mega Evolution level designs with Pokemon that can terrestrialize. That would be awesome. I also hope there are missions, or at least a minigame to catch Paradox forms like in Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon with the White Wormhole game and UB hunting. That way, even having them is a minor challenge and not just free like the legendaries in the Crown Tundra and High Love Armor where you were literally gifted half of them for doing nothing. Finally, I hope the multiplayer is good. I only have one friend who actually plays Pokemon with me, hello Expector if you're watching this, but I really hope I can actually battle and play with him in the game. They were showcasing a lot of multiplayer features, and I hope that it's as good as it seems. I would love a game where I can just roam around with my friends and complete the Dex and Shiny Hunt together. It would make these activities feel a lot fresher and newer, opposed to the old experience where I can't team up with my friends and I just have to repeatedly pound them into the floor with battles, which gets frustrating for both of us. Raids and Sword and Shield were a step in the right direction, but it got too easy, and waiting for others to pick moves took way too long, and that off-putted me from doing them. Plus, later in the game, when there's literally nothing left for you to do, you go back and do raids, and then they're just not worth doing. They're just boring, and they take way too long. So far, Scarlet and Violet look promising. Although a lot of people don't have high hopes for the game, I do. I think this game has more potential than Arceus, so I hope it can grasp it and not just throw it in the trash bin. And with that, I'll see you guys after Legend of Arceus comes out. Wait, I'll see you guys after Scarlet and Violet.